Hello and welcome to this very special vlog on NDTV. My name is Osama Shah and today we are talking about football. And when you talk about football, there are very few clubs that come to your mind, and some of those clubs have had storied history, including the one that we are going to talk about today. And we are talking about Manchester United. Now, this is one club that was on the top of the charts, top of the pile. For many years, they dominated football in England for good 20-25 years. And after 2013, that is when the then coach, manager, Sir Alex Ferguson left, things haven't really been the same for Manchester United as a club and Manchester United fans as well. In fact, last season, when Erik ten Hag took over, the new manager took over from Ralf Rangnick, things looked as if they are moving in the right direction. He in fact got Manchester United in the top four places of the league, which basically guaranteed them a Champions League spot. He won a trophy for Manchester United, which has been a rarity for Manchester United and Manchester United fans. But this season, after all the promise that he showed and the club as a whole showed, it hasn't really lived up to the expectations. In fact, Manchester United have made their worst start to a season in 61 years, and that is something that has worried a lot of Manchester United fans. In fact, Erik ten Hag, when he came into this club, he identified certain problems and he basically went out and bought a certain number of players. Now, there have been a lot of questions over how and why these players are not performing. Are they the ideal replacements for the players who have left, including the likes of Andre Onana, who's the new goalkeeper of Manchester United. There have been a few additions. Sofyan Amrabat, he was brought in from Fiorentina as a defensive midfielder, as a cover for Casemiro, who had a stellar season last year, but he hasn't really lived up to the expectations this year. Mason Mount came into the squad. He has had injuries, and it has been an up and down season for Manchester United and Manchester United fans. Now, when the team is not performing, when the club is not performing, the pressure ultimately boils down to the manager. So let's try and see what has gone wrong for Manchester United and what are the issues that are plaguing the club at this particular moment. And like I said, it has been going on for some time since Sir Alex Ferguson left, and 10 years is a long time, and that is something that Manchester United fans have been enduring for a lot of years now. And they were hoping that things are going to change after Erik ten Hag took over. And it was a decent season last year. There was a lot of expectation, and this season people thought, and fans, pundits alike, all of them thought that we have taken a step forward and we are only going to consolidate on that. But Manchester United hasn't really lived up to the expectations this year. There are a couple of reasons, and we are going to talk about it. The number one is the kind of start that Manchester United has had this season, and you can only sum up the entire start to this campaign as dreadful. Now, Erik ten Hag's team, they basically they were on a three-match winning streak, but they started losing at home, which is a big worry for any team, and they lost 4 matches at Old Trafford. And that has basically what has hurt them in the season, especially in the Premier League. When you talk about the Champions League, despite the fact that Manchester United have scored a lot of goals in all their group matches, they're sitting at the bottom of their group, which includes Bayern Munich, Copenhagen, and Galatasaray. Everyone was expecting Manchester United to at least be on the second position, if not the first, considering Bayern Munich has been on a winning streak. But Manchester United currently sits 4th in that group, and their progression to the knockout stage, it basically depends on a number of probabilities. If Copenhagen and Galatasaray play out a draw, and if Manchester United win against Bayern Munich at home, they'll possibly move to the knockout stage. It doesn't look likely at this point of time. But talking about how the season has progressed and how bad United has been in terms of performances, and you can see that it has been an underwhelming performance, and all the results. When you look at all the results, it basically makes for a grim reading. And the last time when they lost to Manchester City, United in fact had lost five of their 10 opening Premier League matches, and that is the most at the start of a league campaign since 1986-87. And remember, that was a time when Manchester United was in a period of transition under Sir Alex Ferguson, and we all know what happened once they started winning. So a lot of Manchester United fans would be hoping that things are going to change, things are going to go in the right direction. Well, for now, it hasn't really been that way. In fact, what are the factors? What are the mitigating factors that have affected how United has played, or the number of results that United has had this season? The number one is the number of injuries that Manchester United has had this particular season, and it has basically meant that the entire defense, there were a lot of absentees in that defense. You don't have Lisandro Martinez, who was absolutely fantastic last year. Rafa Varane, he suffered an injury. He came back, but he hasn't really looked at his best till now. United, in fact, were playing with Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire and Lindelof at a point of time, because Malacia, he wasn't playing. Luke Shaw, he wasn't playing. So there have been a lot of injury concerns. When you talk about the midfield, it has been the same story. Mason Mount was bought in for with a lot of promise. He has been injured. He has been on and off, and that is possibly what has hurt Manchester United. In fact, Manchester United bought Rasmus Højlund, a striker, to fill that gap, to get them those goals. He did not start in the first couple of games because of injury. So injury has been one of the major reasons why Manchester United has not really performed this particular season. But there have been a lot of other reasons that we are going to talk about. The second and the most important thing that has affected Manchester United this season has been their entire saga of who's going to be owning the club next, and the entire saga of the ownership. Now, there have been a lot of talks about whether the Qatari-based Sheikh Jassim, is he going to buy the club? It went on for a year. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, he came into the picture, whether he was going to buy the club. And this entire process went on for over a year, after which Sheikh Jassim, he basically pulled out of this entire process. And it does look like that Sir Jim Ratcliffe, who is the founder of Ineos team group, he is likely to get 25% of the club, which a lot of fans are not really happy about, because they were getting a better deal from the Qatari-based businessman, the Qatari-based banker, and the fans have not really been happy with how things have progressed under the current ownership of the Glazers. Now, that is something that does affect the players and the mood of the dressing room. It also affects how fans see their team, and whether the management is serious about the team, whether they are serious about getting new players in the team, about the infrastructure development, etc., etc. And a lot of this has been going on for some time, which the fans really want that this changes as soon as possible, so that there is a sense of stability when it comes to Manchester United in terms of its ownership. Now, when you talk about the manager, what really has what has really gone wrong for the manager? Well, a lot of things have gone wrong for him. The number one that a lot of people are saying is the fact that he has tried to play a certain style of football that isn't really suited for the English game. And given that he has been very convincingly successful in with his previous team Ajax in Netherlands, where fans could see a clear sense of style, playing style, and a lot of fans this time around have said that there is no clear style of play when it comes to Manchester United. There is no identity when Manchester United goes out and plays, and this is something that the fans were hoping that Erik ten Hag would bring in this particular team. He has also been criticized for the number of selections that he has done for the club, and this is something that fans are really holding him accountable for. And a lot of, in fact, one of the reasons why people have rated Erik ten Hag very highly is the fact that he is a no-nonsense manager, and one could see what he did with Cristiano Ronaldo, possibly the biggest footballer on this planet. Last season, when Cristiano Ronaldo walked out of the club of the match against Fulham, he decided before Fulham, he basically decided that he's not going to be a part of it, and subsequently Manchester United let Cristiano Ronaldo leave to Saudi. Similarly, this season, when Jadon Sancho he had a spat with the manager decided that look, until and unless you apologize to me and play the way I want you to play, you are not going to be playing in this particular team, and he has been banished from the first team. So there have been reports of disquiet in the dressing room about the meticulous disciplinarian that this guy is, that Erik ten Hag is, and that is something that a lot of fans are a little worried about, because modern footballers, they might have to be treated differently, is what a lot of people feel. Now, United currently are sixth in the points table. They're only 6 points from the top, which is not a lot of gap given how the table has, how the Premier League has progressed over the season. But when you look at how they have fared in Europe, that is where it looks very, very bleak for Manchester United. They're currently sitting at fourth in their group, which has, like I said, Bayern Munich, Copenhagen, and Galatasaray. And after a 3-3 draw last on Wednesday night, it does look like that their fate is not in their hands anymore, and they can only hope that Galatasaray plays out a draw with Copenhagen, and they go on to beat Bayern Munich when they come to Old Trafford. Will that happen? Will that not happen? But it has been a dismal season for Manchester United, especially in Europe, and they would want to turn it around when it comes to the Premier League.